Welcome to Top Rope Reality. I'm Mike Hogan, and this is part 2. I appreciate Justin taking care of part 1 all by his lonesome self. Now I'll take care of part of part 2 as I get a little bit of WWE news. Let's start with some people. One person being released, Nick Dinsmore. You know Eugene? He was released again. Boy, the waves look good back there. And so Nick, I guess he can move on out of the WWE and be Eugene and be on this indie circuit. Hey, we may see him in Florida, where I am right now, and at one of the indie shows. And they asked a question, WWE.com asked a question, who should face Brock Lesnar next outside of John Cena? And with over 28,000 votes, Dean Ambrose was your top vote getter. Very smart move. And also I have 2 wrestlers of the week. Because what a great, other than John Cena sticking his big snarls and taking up the spotlight like he normally does, man, those waves look good. He got to stick his nose in the rest of the weeks. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins by themselves, they are money. That's why John Cena has got to stick his nose in everything he doesn't even belong in. But there he is, just like Hulk Hogan did in the 80s and 90s. Always got to steal the spotlight. So John Cena sees something big going on, and what's he do? He steals the spotlight. And finally, let's go over Raw's recap from last week. It was a fantastic triple threat for the Intercontinental title with Brock Lesnar at home with the WWE Championship, the Intercontinental title, the United States title. Both get to shine on Raw and SmackDown. And again, like I said a while ago, John Cena again steals the spotlight. He can't stand it. He has to be in the spotlight because he's afraid if he's not there, he'll lose out. His 12-year career will mean nothing. Come on, John. You are going to be okay. And we have new stooges. You know how Vince had Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson and his stooges? Well, Triple H and Stephanie have Jamie Nobles and Joey Mercury. They're the new stooges, and I like it. It works. Oh, and the biggest upset of the week, Bo Dallas. Oh, you got to believe he beat Mark Henry. Oh, it wasn't pin, but it's still a W for Bo Dallas. Because you know what? He believes. I believe in that. Oh, I'm going to get out there. And one more thing. Hopefully this week coming up on Raw, we'll finally get some matches for Hell in a Cell. It's coming up very quickly, and WWE needs to hurry up and let's roll. Come on, let's get some matches, WWE. And I hope it's not the one they're talking about, because having John Cena and Dean wrestle and they get to face, the winner faces Seth and the loser faces Randy. Come on, WWE. You're better than that. Well, that's it for WWE part. I'm going to send it right back to Justin in the home studio with some TNA news. Justin, I know you love TNA because you're just like Dixie Carter. So take it away, Justin, back at the home office, and I'll be back for part 3. And then I'm going to head out yonder and get wet because it's beautiful out there. So I'll see you right back here for part 3 of Countdown.
Thank you, Mike Hogan, and here we are. Thank you for that insight on the WWE. Here we are, and I get the crappy news with TNA. So, TNA is still trying to find a new network, but here's the ironic stuff about all this. Jeff Jarrett leaves the company. Here he comes over here and makes his own company again with Global Force Wrestling. Both companies are looking to be talking to the same networks. Very, very interesting there. TNA now has a new, I guess since they're not having TV right now, pretty much, they've already taped everything with that, they need to keep some people busy. So now they have a new weekly YouTube series called I'm with Spud. Apparently, it will feature the former Chief of Staff Rockstar Spud as he will every week preview Impact Wrestling on Wednesdays. Bound for Glory news, here we go. I know nobody cares about the pay-per-view. I don't either, but I'm going to give you the information. Wrestle One's Jimmy Suzaki confirmed via Twitter that Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, 2 of the top talent in TNA, will not be at Bound for Glory this year. He added, however, that if the pay-per-view is a success, there will be a next time, yes. It will be called Wrestle One Bound for Glory, not TNA Bound for Glory. All right. Even the Wolves that were announced for the show removed from Bound for Glory and replaced with Team 3D. Now, we already knew Team 3D was going to be in the town because they were going to be going into the Hall of Fame. We didn't know they were going to do a match. But now, it's being said that the Wolves, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, they didn't even know they were off the show until much later after it was announced in Japan. So now you're not even giving your talent ample opportunity to know what their bookings are? That's piss poor right there by management. You told them they were going to be there. They're expecting a payday. Now they're not going to get the payday. You know, and now they're saying that Japan, they're real big about if they tape stuff ahead of time, that they don't want that stuff on their shows. But my thing is, it's still considered a TNA pay-per-view. But because the Wolves have lost the belts, they don't want to have the Wolves on there because they're not the champions anymore. Okay? Well, just because that stuff's going to happen later on down the road, guess what that problem is? That was TNA's problem. TNA shouldn't have done that. That was stupid on their part. They should not have booked so far ahead and tried to do so many shows to screw things over like that. You know what? I hope they paid their talent very well for all those tapings, because now they ain't going to have nothing to do. They're not going to have any kind of work to do. And they're saying there's a lot of stress and unrest in the TNA locker room because of this. They're saying especially from the younger talents, stemming mostly from the fact there isn't an actual locker room to begin with. They're all sitting in the house. TNA's basically finished for the year, like I was saying, aside from Bound for Glory. A lot of younger talents not on the show. We were even supposed to have Abyss versus Bram. Now, Bram's not even on the show. Thank goodness Charlotte's getting paid good from WWE, and the woman's bringing bacon home, right, Bram? Right? Because you got fired from WWE. Good job. Now, Abyss is teaming up with Tommy Dreamer, what a makeshift team, to take on Team 3D. Makes no sense. But they're saying the next taping event isn't even until January, if they get a taping, if they get a deal with a company. But now they're saying that some of these companies that they're going to be possibly going with to be on TV with don't even have any kind of clearance in Canada. So that's not good. They're saying that a lot of the wrestlers are looking for other indie shows. They cannot appear at indie shows if they wind up on pay-per-view, IPPV, or DVD. And Ring of Honor is really only interested in two people, Eddie Edwards and Samoa Joe. So now everybody's freaking out. A lot of talent has reached out to Jeff Jarrett, but they only have one show on the books right now, and it's the New Japan's Tokyo Dome pay-per-view, which obviously isn't an option for those talent. Lucha Underground is exclusively TV and is asking stars to sign contracts to be exclusive to the Lucha Underground. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla only does DVD taped shows. There are a handful of promotions on the East Coast like Pro Wrestling Syndicate and FWE that are known for good shows and decent paychecks. The reality is that most of the TNA talent will have to settle for the occasional bigger name indie and mostly small local events till TNA announces their new direction in 2015 and figures out what they can afford to keep around. If I was some of these talent, I'd say, you know what? Thanks for the contract offer, but you screwed me out of a lot of money because I couldn't appear at these shows. And I'd say, forget you. That's what I would say. That's just my opinion. But that's the end of my rant about TNA news. And we are going to be right back for part 3, everybody's favorite. Say it with, never mind, can't say it with me, he's not here, countdowns. We'll be right back.